So if we're being a little bit real, it's a little weird to ask your clients to send their friends to you. Now, granted, if it happens to come up in conversation that that client's friend is looking for a hairstylist, maybe then some, right? Then that person, your client, will bring you up in this conversation, right? But your client is not just gonna all of a sudden, now that you've asked them to send them people or that you've offered them 20% off their next service, your client's not all of a sudden gonna text all the people in their phone and be like, hey, you should go see Hunter, and then we both get 20% off, right? And a lot of these people may already have hairstylists. Like, it just is a little bit awkward. And as we're seeing, and as probably many of you are experiencing, the traditional just ask your clients to send you people and the traditional referral programs, like rewards in exchange for getting people clients or getting referrals from your clients, is just not really working in today's day and age. I honestly, working with hundreds of stylists day to day on a very intimate level, I literally do not have one example of a traditional referral program even working for them right now. Of course, there's people who get clients and referrals through word of mouth just because their client experience is really next level because they're putting things into place, such as the advanced things that my students do in my programs, like setting up a really awesome pre-visit experience and post-visit and really next level in the chair, all that stuff, right? If word of mouth is becoming such a prominent and important thing to focus on, which I think it is in today's day and age, we need to figure out how can we put a strategy into place to make the most out of it that actually works. And something that me and my students have been working on for a while is looking at what is the modern version of this and figuring out why the old thing didn't work to then use that information to make the new thing work. And so we're going to be talking to you today about why is it that traditional referral programs are dead and what are we doing now in today's day and age to actually incentivize your clients sending you more people and how to actually roll it out and do it all. And so for this conversation, we have Jodie Brown to facilitate as per usual. So I'm going to pass it over to Jodie Brown to get it popping and then we'll get into it.
Hey, okay, I'm so excited about this because I totally agree. It's like a weird kind of landscape that we're in because, on one hand, a direct referral is probably the most powerful, like, trust builder, right? But on the other hand, referrals don't work the way that they used to. And, like, I've even said for years, like, nobody is like, hey, text my hairdresser. She's awesome. Like, if anything, you're going to get a referral straight to check out your Instagram or your website or whatever that looks like if it comes up organically. And I think that the way that people find hairstylists now is completely different. Back when referral programs were really successful, like there was no real easy way to find a new hairstylist other than like through traditional advertising, through location, like the new hot salon in like downtown, whatever that looked like, right? The only other way was word of mouth. And the way that people find stylists has changed so much. And so, of course, you're right. The way that we shape referrals and the way that we ask our clients to give us referrals has to be radically different in order for it to work.
Oh, yeah. And, from my own personal experience of really exploding my clientele, I think of like the things that actually worked for me was number one, social media. That was absolutely my number one referral source.
Mhm.
But the other part of it was word of mouth,
Yeah.
right? But as with anything, if you ever sit in a one-to-one coaching call with me, so like in our mastermind group, you get a hour-long coaching call with me every month, and we track your data and your KPIs really diligently, and it informs us on a lot of different things that are going on in the business. And one of the things that we really love to look at is what is working, why is it working, can we do more of it, right? And so when I look at my referrals just coming from word of mouth, it's like, okay, well, is this happening just randomly? I'm just getting word of mouth sources from here and there, and I'm just being talked about. Or are there specific things actually happening, like certain events or a large thing? I don't know, that's recurring that is actually getting these word of mouth referrals in. And then and if so, we should be doing more of that, right? And so for me, it was my own clients actually talking about me to their network through modern social channels. And so that's where we want to take like the old referral program situation that we've always been used to and we normally have, and we want to move it into that, right?
Yeah.
Particularly, I had these specific clients in my clientele who just had a fair bit of influence in my local community. One of my friends, Lauren E. Bliss, she came to see me to get her hair done, and this girl has a fuck ton of hair. So shout out to you, Lauren, for us having to take a long time to do your damn beautiful hair. But I loved working with Lauren so much because she was so much fun and such a great person to have in my chair. But also from a business perspective, she had such a large reach into her local community because she was a business owner herself. And her demographic that she was working with was very similar to the demographic that I was targeting and that I was best branded for, right? And so whenever Lauren would come to see me, she would always post these stories on Instagram of a selfie with her hair all done. And she would tag me and be like, oh my God, hair by Hunty Slade again, like yada, yada. And I cannot tell you guys how many fucking clients I got from this girl just doing that. Okay. And this is like me not doing anything, right? This is me just doing her hair, doing a good job, and creating a great relationship with her. And then her, from her own willingness, going on her story and talking about me and showing off her hair. This was a massive part of me growing my clientele after the foundation of growing it with social media because I gained her from social media, right? But then I get these people from social media who now are going to be sharing me with other people, and then it compounds, right? Like once you have moving momentum, you're able to build and build and build momentum on top of that even more faster, better, easier, more efficiently, all the things. And this was a perfect example of that. And so I can't imagine what would have happened if I then took what was working at the time, if I noticed what was working and figured out how can I make this happen strategically, consistently, and predictably? How much more could I have grown? If this was organically helping me naturally so much, then I should have capitalized on that and made it a strategy. And so that's exactly what I teach now in Modern Stylist Movement into my programs is creating a brand ambassador program. So I kind of thought as Lauren as like a great brand ambassador. Like she was the face of the perfect client that I would have in my chair. She also had the same network of people close to her that would also be pretty ideal clients for my chair as far as what their lifestyle is, what they're looking for with their hair majoritively. And so with a brand ambassador program, what we're doing is we're no longer just asking somebody to send us in and the new client gets 20% off and then you get 20% off your next service. What we're doing now instead, which feels so much more natural and I believe actually gets you tons more reach,
Mhm.
is incentivizing your clients to take actions of advertising you on your behalf and then rewarding them for that, right? So that's what the brand ambassador program is. And I am so excited because I rolled this out 3 years ago and it was really cool how we rolled it out because a points program of any sort, a loyalty program of any sort, the one big thing with it is that it's a pain in the ass to kind of keep up with, like to track whether or not this person referred to this person or not, or if this person did this action or not. And so I did roll out with a solution for making this as easy as possible, setting it up to be the most successful as possible. But the 2026 and beyond version is going to be really, really badass. And so I'm building out right now, which is what inspired me to make this episode today. So where should we go from there, Jodie? What are your questions or what do you think that the people's out there's questions are that are listening to us right now?
Okay, so I'll start with a question, but the first thing I just want to say is that the thing I love so much about this, Hunter, is the fact that you are literally getting people to evangelize for your brand where they're actually looking for hairstylists. Like they're going to be in that mode. And like the old way is like, oh, hand out this business card with your name on it. Where is that going? In the bottom of someone's bag, best case scenario, like left on a table somewhere, worst case scenario. In this situation, in this method, they are coming to your social media. It has all of your links, it has all of your next steps. The friction is removed from taking the next step, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I love that point that you bring up. Like they're going straight into the curated funnel that you've created
Yes.
versus just relying on the word of the person. Like it's different than like your client saying, "Hey, my stylist is really great. You should book with them," and then that's it. Versus it's on the native platform that that person would then go and see more of you to find out if you actually are great. So you already have the trust that this person that I know already, they trust you. They got great results with you. I see that they got great results, and they can go onto your page and they can prove even more so that they can trust you. I agree with that. And I think that's a great advantage to this. And then just generally, just to like put out there why I think this is also a great idea. I mean, let's say that we do the old, like old school method of like asking, you know, five of you, ask your clients to text five of their friends to send to go to you, right? Okay, that's five people. But sometimes, a lot of the time, these people have hundreds of people in their network on their social media that are in your community. And so you posting or them posting, right, reaches so many more people and in that native way, which is super advantageous. And so I think that incentivizing that, rewarding your clients for that is really powerful. And I think one of the biggest objections that I have to this is in any circumstance, is the fact of discounting or incentivizing or giving things for free,
Right.
right? And I want to address that for anybody who's maybe thinking about that here, because I think that when you put it in the perspective of this person is reaching hundreds of people for you, and whether it be time or money, you will always be paying resources in order for you to get new clients, right? In one way or another. And so, what I would rather be spending my time or money on is somebody else doing the work for me, where there's going to be a much higher level of trust built much quicker because somebody else is doing it. I mean, we are in a day and age in which we are all so desensitized and we are all so over being influenced, and we don't trust the source anymore.
Right.
We don't trust the source. Like you don't trust the commercial that is selling itself because you're like, of course they're gonna say that all these amazing things about themselves, right? Like they're trying to advertise themselves. And I think that people are even going to think and see that about hairstylists, right? So, but if they're hearing about you first from somebody else that they already trust, like that's just so powerful. And I think it's very much worth it to give a free bottle of shampoo, a free haircut, even in exchange for them doing a fair bit of action of advertising for you to get in front of hundreds of people in your local community. It's literally like you would pay hundreds of dollars in ads to get that same result with less trust,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
With less trust. So, actually, even better results with these people doing this for you.
And actually, to get really great results, even with paid advertising, like some of the top experts that I know that are teaching paid advertising to hairstylists are telling them to put together some sort of like special package that they can't get anywhere else. And that includes maybe free upgrades or products or whatever. And so, no matter how you slice it, like you said, whether it's time or money, client acquisition costs, period. And so, like you said, you can bypass so much of the work for yourself and you can like bypass that initial introduction as well. So, I think the next thing that we get to is what did these incentives look like and why are they like why do we need to create incentives? Like let's kind of talk about that process when it comes to getting your clients to take these actions.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, they have to be worth it enough for somebody to want to take action, right? And you get to decide whatever that looks like for you. Like, you need to make sure that you feel confident with what you are giving away in exchange for what you believe the what is worth it in return, right? But it also has to be sexy enough for the client to actually want to go ahead and still post on social because that's still work for them, right? Or it's still them putting themselves out there or taking up a space on their feed if they're super curated. And especially for the people in your clientele who may have a lot of influence, they may take what goes on their feed or on their story a little bit more seriously. So you are asking for something in exchange, except I think it is definitely a little bit easier, less awkward, and more natural in today's day and age than soliciting their friends through text message or something like that, right? But regardless, you want to make sure that the you get to choose what your point system looks like. And in what we're building for you to keep track of this and for things to get redeemed, you get to just create the system the way that you want to create it, and it's all taken care of for you in the back end. But you get to decide, what is my point system? How many points does this person need total in order to get whatever rewards I set? So let's say, again, it's like one full free size product is 50 points. One free full service is 500 points, right? And then you have the actions that will actually allow your clients to gain points. So that could be specifically on Facebook, post on your feed and tag me a picture of your hair with your face in it. And I think that being detailed is helpful because then you're making sure that the person is actually posting something that is going to be likely to get you results, right? Versus something else that may not, something else that may not be ideal, right? And so you come up with your actions, you come up with the rewards, you make sure that the points that they gain for each of those actions is relative to what you believe is worth what the rewards are in exchange for those things. And then you roll it out to them. They submit when they've done those actions, and then it'll automatically all track on the back end, like how many points each person has. And when they want to redeem it, then you just go ahead and you say what they're redeeming, and then it takes it off their account, and then they can do it again, basically.
I love that. Okay, and so I just want to bring this up because I think this idea of gamification and rewards and all of these things are so slept on by so many industries. And I just want to give like a little example of how well this stuff can actually work. And I know, Hunter, that you're always like looking to big corporations to see kind of like what's working there to bring it into our industry, right? So, when we look outside at like some of the most successful corporations and some of the most successful businesses, they all have some type of reward program. All of them. Like Sephora has different tiers based on your purchases. I can't honestly think of like a big company that I shop with that doesn't have a rewards program. And one of the most notable ones, and I heard this fact and I was like, that is insane, is Starbucks. So I don't actually drink Starbucks a lot. So this is like, I don't have their app on my phone, but I know that like 99.9% of the people that I know do have this app and they do like stars. So they give away free products, they give away free, drinks or food items or whatever it is after you spend a certain amount. You can also invite friends to get these stars. And 40 to 60%. So on the low end since 2020, in some markets, it's been 40% of sales. In the US in 2025, it was 59% of sales came through Starbucks reward program. Like that
That's
is
wild.
insane.
Yeah, dude. And like you could argue, like this is for loyalty, right? Which
Yeah.
at the time of recording this, at least, like I would say that like your experience by itself should be breeding enough loyalty and they shouldn't need like some sort of incentive to come back to you for our particular
Yes.
situation. But what this proves is the gamification, is the
Yes.
working for the rewards, is that type of stuff, right? And especially like through some sort of medium like that platform, right? Is it works, right? And there's a reason why these companies are willing to give away those free products, those free drinks, those free whatever else's, is because it's very much worth it and lucrative for them at the end of the day. And that's why this concept for you guys, I think, is a really, really great idea that more people should be taking in consideration their word of mouth efforts.
Yeah, absolutely. And like they're not just giving it out for your purchases either. Like they are all of these companies, most of the ones I can think of have some sort of referral based incentive.
Yeah.
So even like the investing platform that I use, it share this link with someone else and will literally deposit money into your investment account. Like
Yep.
it works so well. And so I love that gamification aspect for sure.
Yeah, I tried Factor meals recently, and I liked
Mm,
it for a couple weeks, but I just stopped because I did end up getting sick of the meals and just like sick
fair.
of like the whatever.
Mhm.
But regardless, my mom was the one who like was telling me about it, and she every single time they send you a box, they have a little card in there, and it's like give this to the person and then you get a free meal or whatever it may be. And she signed me up and she got a free whatever else, or I don't think I got anything for that. And then my upstairs neighbor, I actually asked her to bring in my factor box one day because it had to get refrigerated and I was away.
Yeah.
And she had to open up the box to be able to like put everything in the fridge. And she saw the card and she was like, "Oh, like I'll sign up for this because I it looks interesting and I'll try it and you get to like get all this stuff." And I was like, "Hell yeah!" So it works, right?
Yeah,
Like it works.
totally.
And again, like this is all through, like this isn't like asking you to text your friends. Like it's just like, like so this stuff works. And there's a reason why the companies do it. And I'd recommend that you guys do it as well too. Okay. Now, one thing I do want you to consider here though, all right. What I've taught for years, ever since I rolled this out, when we think of a brand ambassador, okay, this isn't just anybody because I assume that if you are going to have people out there being your walking billboards, let's say, you have clients who may not be the best representation of your brand or may not have the social media presence. They don't even have to have a crazy social media presence, but you know that the way that they would execute this on social media may not be reflective of your brand and the people that you're trying to attract, right?
Yeah.
Also, let's say that you have people in your clientele who have a very, very small, very bland presence on social. Like, let's say that their network is like 50 or less people, which is super small for social media. Then maybe you wouldn't want to give them a bunch of free shit in exchange for them doing these things. Like, there's no ROI there, right? So, what I've taught for a while is actually making this an invitation only program. And I think there's a lot of benefits to that. Number one, of course, you are only giving free shit to the people who are actually who actually have networks, right? And again, these do not have to be influencer level. I mean, I'm talking at least maybe like, let's say 200 followers, okay? Like, that's awesome. But anything like less than that, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like, does this person have enough reach to even show anybody anything, but that's going to be relative to who the client is, your area, how everything moves, whatever it may be. So you're going to have curated people who you're giving free stuff to, who have a bigger market that they're reaching. You will also make those specific people feel really special, I feel like, for inviting them to be a brand ambassador, I think, which breeds more loyalty as well, too. And it incentivizes them to post more. Like they feel like all excited about it.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is when you have a smaller amount of people that you are working with to do this stuff for you, it's easier to nurture them because you're not trying to, it's easier to kind of like equip them with what they need to be posting this stuff for you versus if you have an entire huge clientele base that you have to keep up with to make this happen and actually work for you. And it's just generally easier to manage. Plus, from an admin perspective as well too, right? From having to log all these people's points, give people links to do things. So just keeping it smaller, in my opinion, I think is the best way to go about it. You can expand it to as large as you want to. If you really want to, I would just take all the things that I said into consideration, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have like a certain number in mind that you recommend that stylists start with?
Yeah, I think 5 to 10 is great. And again, they don't have to be influencer level. Like that's not what we're talking about here. I'd actually rather them be just like semi-relevant and connected to the community some way. I mean, Lauren is
Mm,
a great example. Like she had probably had like 2,000 followers, which could sound like a lot to a lot of people.
mhm,
But the reason why it worked so well is because she's so connected to people in the community already. I mean, that was really advantageous for me being somebody who had no network in that local community.
mhm.
Like I was brand new to the area. And so like my own social, like I had no leverage over my own existing audience and I had to build that from scratch, right? Whereas she grew up there, she knows and is connected to
Right.
so many people and her business serves a lot of people in that community who are my ideal clients. And so like finding those types of people are really, really powerful and the most ideal people to find. And so yeah, 5 to 10 people I think is a great number to kind of shoot for.
Okay, I love that. So then once you've kind of chosen your reward systems, once you've decided how many points things are worth, once you've decided who you want to invite to the program, do you have any tips for the people listening on how to actually roll this out?
Yeah. So we're in the midst of no promises, building something for you to make this happen and make it really easy as far as from a software perspective. But regardless, I think that you should just invite somebody when they come to see you in person and be like, I've been thinking about you and I think that you'd be a really great fit for this. You get to get all this free shit if you do enough actions. And all you got to do is just sign up through this quick little form, agree to a terms and conditions, because I do think there should be terms and conditions to this situation. And then you just make sure that they're equipped with everything that they need. So like make sure that you're taking pictures of them at the end of the appointment, right? But other things will be like user generated content is what the term is in today's day and age, where like your client may take the picture themselves, because sometimes that will do well too, right? But just making sure that they know all that they need to do, equipping them with everything they need to understand what to do, and making sure that there's a system to make it easy, right?
Right.
I think that that's the biggest thing here. It should be easy for the client. It should be easy for you to keep up with and track and make it fair for everybody. So that way it's not a headache and you're actually willing to continue forward and in incentivizing it, pushing it to happen, and that your client actually follows through with doing those things.
That.
So yeah, that's the brand ambassador program. Go do it. It's a great idea. And if you want more information about how we do it in Modern Stylist Movement, you can reach out to me directly. If you're an MSM student listening to this right now and you're interested and you're curious and you haven't heard of this strategy before, reach out to me and I'll point you in the right direction. But I think that it is becoming a increasingly so relevant and worth it strategy to definitely try out in your own business in today's day and age to get more of those word of mouth referrals, because they are traditionally, historically, in every industry, in every business, most likely the highest quality type of new client referrals you can possibly get. So let's get more of them. Let's get the advertising done for us, because I know you hate posting on social media yourself, my friend. And I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Modern Hairstylist Podcast. Thank you, Jodie Brown, for being here and facilitating the conversation as per usual. Peace out, Girl Scout. Bye-bye.